Hey now, so I am honored to be in the presence of Mike, baseball collector, in his little, I don't want to say little man cave because it's actually quite big and it's so extensive. I thought I was a big Hall of Fame autograph collector, but my collection could fit in one boxes of Mike's. Matter of fact, we were just talking about that. I don't know if I could pull it out, but like, and just to give an idea, in case none of you have ever been here, there's more Hall of Fame autographs in here than Hall of Fame autographs that I own, period. So, which brought up an interesting dilemma, which Mike is going to ring on. What's better, having like 3,000 different Hall of Fame autographs or having, let's say, the 283 I have? So, Mike, what made you say, I want as many Hall of Fame autographs as possible? I mean, we're just going to stick with the autographs. Obviously, Mark's a big card collector as well. Mike. Why did I say Mark? That's my middle name. I'm sorry. So.
It's okay, John. I mean, Frank.
So.
No, honestly, I didn't set out to just buy as many as I could. It was, I'd find one and I liked it, or it'd be part of a set that I was working on, or I just liked the style of that card. Or I'd buy big lots, and you've seen them in auction houses, right? You just, I want one or two of them, but there's 50. So, well, the per lot, the per auto price ends up being so attractive that I would just buy the whole thing, knowing I only needed 2 of the autographs out of it. That happened a lot 5, 6, 7 years ago, and so that's how I accumulated so many.
You sound like an accountant, because I go to a grocery store, I look at the unit price. I don't look at the overall price. Look, how much is it per ounce? So I totally understand that. All that being said, it's funny. I just feel, I don't want to say it's a waste of money. It's not a waste of money. I'm not trying to get to that, but just like getting
it's unnecessary for sure.
Yeah, but the thought is also with the Hall of Fame autographs is just, I'd rather spend my money and get one I don't have than have, what would I rather have? Let's say 4,000 Fergie Jenkins or 1 Babe Ruth. Let's say they're worth the same thing unit price. To me, I'd rather have the one I don't have rather than be Babe Ruth. So I was like, how many, at some point, the Fergie Jenkins to me, it's called the law of diminishing marginal utility.
100%.
And it may not go for a card because every card is different, granted. But the Fergie Jenkins autographs itself is the same autograph over and over and over again. And personally, I'd rather see 1 than 100. But I get it. It's amazing. You get, it's hypnotizing if you've ever been here. I don't know if you've ever been here or not, people that are watching.
Some people have.
Yeah. So it's just, this room is packed. I mean, packed to the point where my wife would make me sell. So I'm very jealous of Julie, your wife, for letting you have this room. So it's very cool.
You bring up a good point. And I get a lot of criticism is probably not the right word, but certainly questioning.
Including
why, and it's okay to ask the questions. Why wouldn't you just get rid of all the extra to buy stuff you don't have? The point is, I want both. I don't need the money. That's the first thing. If I needed the money, for sure, I'd sell everything in here. I've said that multiple times, and it's true. I think, well, it's a lot of work, or just it's a lot of hassle to sell a bunch of stuff. We're talking about selling thousands of items. Do I really want to go through that when I can just save up the money and buy the one I don't have? It's not that money isn't an issue. Money is an issue for all of us at certain at different levels, but it's more of, I'd rather just keep and hoard. Maybe it's a hoarding problem. Maybe like genuinely, like maybe there's some disorder, so to speak. That
being said, if you've been here, there is 0 disorder. Mike knows we're all. How many autographs do you have of Hall of Famers?
2,800 almost.
Mike knows for every 2,800. If you bring up an autograph from a spreadsheet, he'll tell you exactly where it is. So this is definitely not disorder. I wouldn't call it a hoarding necessarily, because hoarding, you don't even know what you have anymore. It's very well organized.
And it has to be. If you have that much stuff, if you don't know where everything is, good luck. Like if you just let it go. It's kind of like your room when you were a kid. If you keep it clean, it's a lot easier to maintain.
No, I get that.
Than if it's in disarray and you have to clean it. So if this got in disarray, I would just throw up my hands and say screw it.
But let me ask you a question. Did it ever get disarray and you find something like, oh my God, I forgot I had that? I mean, there's so much here that's possible.
I did that. I found a trout rookie.
Yeah.
just rummaging one day through a box, like, oh, there's a 2011. It was a whole bunch of 2011 Topps update.
Wow.
A few boxes. And
there you go. I mean, I can say how many trout rookies I have, and that would be 0. Although I do have a gorgeous trout autograph baseball. And what's interesting about his collection, let me ask you this question. You're very big for modern guys, obviously. You're very big on card. You don't like the baseballs? We haven't really talked about this. Or is it just too much room, the baseballs?
Storage issue, obviously. The quality of a baseball autograph can vary greatly.
Yes.
Based on the quality of the baseball, the toning, etc. The fading of the autograph can vary over time. If you do it right, they can all be the same, and you've done it right on a lot of yours are all pretty terrific. But even you would probably admit there are some in your collection that, I wish I had a better one.
Well, we were just talking about that. I was fortunate to have lunch with the Hall of Famer, and I said this, it was Lee McPhail, and he was eating French fries because my ball is full of grease stains. So unfortunately, yeah, it didn't survive the test of time in that regard, which is unfortunately is very common with the baseballs, especially I want to say the 80s balls. I went in Haiti, they were with the bad water. If you're a big autograph collector, you know this. There was bad water at one of the baseball facilities, and the balls are spotting today, and it definitely takes away from the attraction of the autograph.
And that can happen with cards too, right? If you don't store them right.
Correct, but everything here is stored right. You don't have to worry about that here.
Yeah, it's but the great thing is what you and I share, and what we've been talking about all day has been how if you have this compulsion, love of Hall of Famers, you can talk about it non-stop.
Yes.
And we've been doing that.
Yes.
And having great discussion about who should be in next and who might be down the road, who's in that doesn't deserve to be in. And what's great is we're in agreement on 95% of what we talk about.
Except for Juan Gonzalez.
Juan Gonzalez should be a Hall of Famer.
No way.
Okay.
No.
But we were at the ball game today watching the Rangers Guardians.
Still the Indians. Still the
Indians today. Yeah. Not anymore. Not now.
You're right. They're done. They're done.
They are now
they are now done.
Because the game's over. But
correct.
We had a great time just talking who should be in, and it's just so much fun to talk about.
Yeah, it should be very interesting now that the committee's going to come out next month. So
December, right?
No, the list comes out in November. I'm trying to find the last ticket stuff from the last game. I think it's right here. Yeah, so this will be the last Indian ticket stub ever, right there.
Yep.
So, but the committee usually comes out in November, and then they're going to in December at the winter meeting.
You have it in your wallet, or it's going to get all bent up.
It already is bent up.
But do you want me to give you like something to hold it in?
It's okay. You know what? I am a collector. I'm not an investor. It probably only has value to me, and probably Indian fans
or me.
Or
I was there too.
Yes.
Anyway, we have this shared love of this topic, of this idea, and it makes it so much more fun to talk to other people about it. And I love it.
I think also when a lot of collectors are young, which is good. I think it's great for the hobby.
Right.
But like the ultimate goal of any player in baseball is to get to the Hall of Fame. Let's be honest. And so when I was 20 years ago, 30 years ago, I was just starting. I didn't know who all the Hall of Famers were. I cared about Manny Lee's not in the Hall of Fame, but the Boggs of the day, the Sandbergs, the Gwynns, with the goal of being the Hall of Fame. And once they make the Hall of Fame, I'm hoping these younger collectors will learn more about the older players, their other Hall of Famers. Because I guess this is like Hall of Famer, non-Hall of Famer. The Jesse Haynes of the world, who probably most of you don't know, is equal to the Babe Ruth. They are both in the same plaque in the Hall of Fame. So I just hope that like the community of baseball Hall of Famers, whether you collect cards or autographs, you just expand your horizons to get to know the history of the game.
But you just said a great point. When we were kids, and we were about the same age, Frank and I, and we would watch. We grew up in the, like you said, Sandberg and Gwynn and Mattingly, or not Mattingly, Boggs. They weren't Hall of Famers at the time. We loved them as the current players, but as we got older, saw the totality of their careers, it made me eager to learn about the people that came before them that were in the Hall of Fame.
Correct.
Maybe that will happen with the Acuñas, the Sotos, the whoever out of this group of players, this crop of players gets in the Hall of Fame. Maybe it'll light a spark under some of those new collectors.
I hope so. I think it will. I really think it will, because people are collecting now. And I see, especially in these Facebook groups now, it's like I have X amount of future Hall of Famers, and they're not as concerned of how many current Hall of Famers they have. So, oh, he's a future Hall of Famer. He's a future Hall of Famer. His stats are going to be for the Hall of Fame. That's why people are clamoring to Trout. They think he's going to be the greatest Hall of Famer ever, I think. So
I wouldn't even put him in the top 50 all time right now. Today?
Today?
Would you put him in top 50 all time?
All time, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, if he retired today, he'd be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
For sure, but is he top 50 of all time?
I mean, there's only 337, and not all of them were players. So players, yeah, I would say he would.
Okay.
So, not Juan Gonzalez.
Stop with the Juan Gonzalez.
So.
All right. I can't even give a Tigers reference that would be equally insulting. Prince Fielder.
He was a great drafter. Bobby Higginson. How's that?
There you go. Matt Noakes.
Matt Noakes. He was, yeah. I'll tell you all a Matt Noakes story real quickly. One of my first autographs I ever got was a show. Matt Noakes was there. $2.50. Line was 2 hours long. I'm not waiting. There's a guy there by the name of Frank Robinson. $6. No line. I did not get the Noakes. I got the Frank Robinson. It's probably one of my first Hall of Fame. It is my first Hall of Fame autograph ever of a player that was in the Hall of Fame at the time. So
That was a good decision.
It was a good decision. Thank you, Matt Noakes, for being so popular that. So yes, the $6, and he was grumpy then as he was probably the day he died. He would not personalize it to Frank. I was so mad that he wouldn't personalize it.
Interesting.
Yes.
Well, man, I'm glad you've had a good time today.
I had a fabulous time. I only hope that one day you'd be able to come to my little basement up in Michigan.
I would love to. So next time I'm in Michigan, I'm going to see you. Thanks,
take care.
All right.
Take care. As always, keep collecting.
See ya.